Hi, in today's lesson we're going to learn how to create a tank top and how to set up your file for any kind of technical drawing. So first I'm going to go to my Adobe Illustrator software and I will go to File, New to create a new blank page. I will first click on Print, then on Letter Size Preset, Portrait Orientation, and then I will click on Create. If you don't see your layers, you're going to go to Window, Layers in order to display your layers palette. As a default, you only have one. So the first thing before we begin, I just want to show you the difference between pasting and pasting in front. Those are two different functions that we're going to be using in the tutorial. So the first thing is, for example, if I draw an ellipse, I can then select it with the black arrow and go to Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste. So paste will paste it a little bit on the side. If I go to Edit, Paste in front, it's going to paste my circle directly on top, perfectly aligned, on top of the previous one. If you move it, then you can see that yes, there are two circles there. The same thing, if you drew a line, it's going to work the same way. So if I go to Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste, it's just going to give me the line on the side. This time I'm going to use shortcuts. If I select the line and I go to Control-C to copy, and then Control-V to paste, it's going to paste the line on the side. If I go to Control-F, which is Edit, Paste in front, then the line will be pasted directly on top of the previous one. So if I move it, I can see that there are actually two of them. So that is the difference between Edit, Paste and Edit, Paste in front. So please practice this and memorize this function and the shortcuts. So the first thing you do when you start a technical drawing is you always bring in your Judy template, which will help you get the proportion right. So you already have one layer by default, so that's where the Judy template will go. So you go to File, Place, and then you scroll down in your USB or your desktop so that you can find the Judy JPEG. So here she is. Once you find her, you click on her once, and then you turn on the button that says Template. So a little check mark will show up, and then you click on Place. So this will automatically embed a Judy onto your artboard. It'll make the Judy semi-transparent, so it's easier for you to draw on top. And it'll also lock the template for you at the same time. So perfect, that's all you need. You can double click on the layer name so that you can change it to Judy. And then you are noticing that a new layer is already automatically created on top of the Judy. So this is the layer 1, which now I can rename as Top Front. So this new layer, Top Front, is the layer that should be selected once you start drawing. So you never draw in a Judy layer, it should just be locked. So you have to make sure that the new layer is on top, that the new layer is the currently selected layer, and then you will be able to start drawing. So the first thing you do is preset your pen. So every time you do a technical drawing, no matter which one, you're going to choose no fill so that you can see where you're drawing, and you're going to use black stroke. You're going to use 1 point, and then that'll always be the preset to work with. I'm going to tear off the pen tool, and I'm going to tear off the rotate tool so that I can see the reflect tool, which I will be using a lot today. So this is the reflect tool. So to begin with, I'm going to use the pen tool, no fill, black stroke, 1 point. I will put one corner point on the neck, shoulder point right here. So you just click to add a corner point. My next point will also be a corner point. So I will just click just before the shoulder. My next point will be somewhere in the middle of the armhole, but a little bit lower. So I'm going to just click once in order to set a corner point. My next point will be in the armpit area, so I will just simply click once in order to set another corner point. I will press the space bar so I can just move my artboard. So a little hand icon will show up when you press the space bar. Then I will set my last point at the hemline. So I will just click once and that'll be the last point. To discontinue, to make it stop, I will press Command and click and the line will be finished. Next, I have to reshape the armhole in order to make it a little bit more smooth. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the anchor point tool. So I will click on the anchor point tool and then I will simply click and drag going down on top of the corner point. So this will turn my corner point into a smooth point. Once you're done, you are also then able to move the point around and move the directional handles around. And so keep playing with the curve until you're really happy with the shape of your curve. Okay, so that is the left side. So now I have to copy and reflect this line. In order to do that, I'm going to select the line with the black arrow. Then I will click once on the reflect tool. Then I will press down my Alt Option key, and then I will click once in the middle to set my reflection point axis. Then I will click on the vertical box, and then I will click on the button that says Copy. So this will give me a reflection perfectly symmetrical on the other side. So let's do this one more time. So first select the line, then you click once on the reflect tool, then you press Alt Option key, you keep it pressed, you click on the guideline, the the dialog box comes up immediately, you turn on vertical and then you click on copy and then you're done. So the next thing I have to do is I have to connect these 2 points and I also have to connect these 2 points. So to select these 2 points, I know I can use the white arrow and press Shift. So white arrow, press Shift. And then I can select this point as well as this point. Only those 2 points are black because they're the only 2 points that are selected. Then I can go to right click and select Join from the drop-down menu. I could do the same thing at the bottom, but I'll show you something even faster. So at the bottom, I'm going to actually just still use the white arrow, but I will click and drag to make a selection. So a little selection box shows up. The bottom 2 points turn black because they're selected. Perfect. So now I just hit Command J and it'll join my 2 points. So you can either go to right click and then select Join from the drop down menu, or you can hit Command J to join these 2 lines. So there we are. So next we have to add one extra anchor point in the middle of the neckline and one in the middle of the hemline. So you click on the Add Anchor Point tool, you add 1 point in the middle, you can see it here, I've added it, and then you click once at the bottom and you can see it added as well. There it is. Then we're going to use the white arrow to drag this point down, and we're going to use the white arrow to drag this point down a little bit. Next, I'm going to use the anchor point tool and then click and drag going to the left in order to turn that point into a smooth point. You press Shift in order to constrain the handles. I will do the same at the bottom. So you're going to turn on the anchor point tool, you're going to click and drag going right this time, and then you let go once you're happy with the shape of the curve. Again, you press Shift in order to constrain the directional handles. So now this is the tank top front view, but now I have to create the back neckline. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on the white arrow. I will select the middle point only with the white arrow, and then I will hit Command C to make a copy. Then I will hit Command F to paste in front. So there's a neckline pasted in front directly on top. And then I will hit Command J to connect. So Command J connects. So next I'm going to add 1 extra point here in the middle, and then I will be able to use the white arrow to drag it down. Once I have it dragged down, I will use the anchor point to click and drag and press shift at the same time to constrain handles. And now I have turned that corner point into a smooth point. Finally, if you zoom in, you're going to notice that the lines are a bit pointy and the corners are a bit pointy. So to fix that, you're going to go to Window Stroke and have a look at the stroke palette. So Window Stroke is here. Then I will use the black arrow to select the entire piece. So I will just click and drag to select everything. And then I will click on this button, which is a round join, and this button, which is the round cap. So this will allow me to get rid of the pointiness of the edges of the lines and the corners. So now I can actually just close the stroke box. I don't need it anymore. So my next step will be to fill the tank top with a very light gray color, and then the back neck area with a darker gray color. So if you look at it, you actually have two pieces there. You have a neck and you have the tank top. So in order to make sure they move together, I'm going to group those two pieces. So using the black arrow, I will click and drag around, and then I will go to Object Group, or I can go to Right Click Group, or I can even just hit Command G in order to group those two pieces together. So once they're grouped together, they will move together. So that's my top front. So now I want to work on a back view of this garment. So the shaded area indicates the back of the garment. So first I will select the black arrow and copy the front view. So edit, copy. Then I will create a new layer just above the Judy. So to create a new layer above the Judy, you first have to select the Judy layer and then you click on the new layer button. So now I have the new layer created above the Judy and it's currently selected. So then I will just simply go to Edit, Paste, and the copy is pasted in the middle layer. So this middle layer really will be my back view. So I'll be labeling that as back view top or back top, and then I have to change it to make it look like the back. So this is the back view. So now all you have to do is combine this and this using Unite function. So you first have to go to Window Pathfinder to display the Pathfinder palette, and then you have to select both pieces. So I just used the black arrow to click and drag so that the neckline and the tank tops are selected. And then you just have to click on this button, which is Unite. So if you click on the Unite button, it's going to combine those two shapes into one. So now I just have to select the lighter gray area and then I'm done. So before we save this artwork, we're going to just label it with your name and the project name. So you're going to use the first tool, which is the type tool. We're not going to look at the other ones now. We're going to look at them later on once we start working on the mood boards. So for now, I just want to click on the regular type tool. And then using your regular type tool, I can just click and start a new line of text. So then I can label this as tank top project. So what you can do is use the black arrow to move it around. You can press shift and drag the bounding box in order to resize your text. You can also change the fill and even the stroke, so I can have a stroke added. The other thing you can do too is create more text lines. So if I go and select black font, and if I select no fill, no stroke, then I can click here and label my pieces as back view, select the black arrow, move it, and then I can again click to start a new line of text and type front, front view. I mixed it up. I'm just gonna move it over. So this will be the front view, this will be the back view. And then I can add my name. So you click and then you can add your name. I just also want to show you that you're able to use the text tool to highlight certain words or letters. And then from that, you can go to type and change the font size like that. You can also change the font. If you want to use a different font, you just go there. So this will allow you to change the font, color, stroke, fill, size, and all you have to do is the same as in Word, the Word app. You just simply highlight the letters you want, and then you can change the font and the font size. So once you're done with labeling of your project, then you just have to save it. So you go to File, Save As, and then this will be called your family name, and then Tank Top, and then it's already saying Adobe Illustrator format, so that's fine, you leave it. It says Adobe Illustrator format AI, and then you just click on Save. Then this box comes up, it says Adobe Illustrator, and then you click on OK, and now the file is saved. So this is how you create your own first technical drawing, and this is how you're going to be setting up your Judy template every time you start working on a new technical drawing. And that's it for today.